It was a random Tuesday. I, like any other sensible teenager, was looking at my phone instead of studying for an upcoming chemistry test. While scrolling through YouTube, I found this video on a concept called kintsugi. Kintsugi is the Japanese art of putting broken pottery pieces back together with gold, which is also a metaphor for embracing the flawed and imperfect. I was fascinated. What a beautiful idea it is of highlighting the very same flaws and imperfections which society tells us to hide. I'm Nadia Santosh, and my business, Utsukushi, which is named after the Japanese word for beautiful, aims to do just that. We are here to revolutionize the prosthetic industry. We recognize that the cost of prosthetic limbs has been a significant barrier, limiting access to those who need them the most. Our mission is to bridge this gap by providing good quality, affordable prosthetic limbs that enhance mobility, restore confidence, and transform lives. We are going to do this by using mindful material innovation, simplified designs, and local production, which makes our product different from the other products in the industry. In our country, there are 1 million amputees, with thousands of that number being added to each year. And out of this number, 900,000 people can't afford prosthetics in India, which is 90% of the amputee population. We have the power to touch the lives of 900,000 people, and the size of our impact can be huge. So, why are prosthetic limbs so expensive? It's because of the customization needed, the industry standards for the quality, gaining the materials themselves, the R&D, and the specialized labor. For the R&D, we are planning to invest a significant chunk of our investment solely in R&D so that we can find more innovative ways to reduce our long-run average costs, therefore increase our profit margin. And for the specialized labor, we have made the decision to hire differently abled people to make our products. And this is not just for the sake of inclusive employment, but this is because of the expertise that is born from their lived experiences. Our team will embody resilience, innovation, and an in-depth understanding which will ensure that our products are not just created with care, but with a deep sense of empathy that forms true connections. One of the few major competitors we have in the industry of making affordable prosthetics is RoboBionics. RoboBionics makes low-cost prosthetic hands for people who generally can't afford the more advanced models. But I think we have a few key differentiators which set us apart from a lot of companies in the industry, such as cost-effective innovation. By streamlining our production process and focusing on efficiency, we ensure that we keep our products at a low cost without compromising on quality. Collaborative partnerships. By using a collaborative approach with local healthcare workers, hospitals, and rehab centers, we can ensure to stay at the forefront of prosthetic technology while keeping costs in check. Community-centric design. We actively take input from other prosthetic users who have bought our products, and I think that will help us to not only just add on to the functionality of the product, but truly enhance their daily lives. Such as, I'm planning to add a new subcategory of limbs specially meant for diabetic people. Now, the thing about diabetic individuals is that they are more susceptible to a kind of phenomenon called gangrene, which is the death of body tissue due to restricted or lack of blood flow. Now, these particular subcategory of prosthetic limbs will allow proper airflow, which will prevent buildup of moisture and therefore prevent gangrene and the millions of deaths which happen in it. Then there's ease of maintenance, obviously, leading a more hygienic and hassle-free user experience. And then there's the inclusive employment, what I was talking about before. These are some of the materials we'll be using, which are cheaper alternatives to the current materials being used in the prosthetic industry. May I repeat, while our limbs aren't going to have as many advanced designs as a lot of more expensive counterparts, these still provide a good amount of mobility and they're pretty good. So for the advertising, I would like to leverage social media platforms to share engaging content, success stories, and just share information about our affordable prosthetics by using targeted ads for specific demographics. I would also like to collaborate with NGOs, non-profits and healthcare providers in the future so that medical professionals may refer our company to patients in the future. Obviously, there's the traditional methods of advertising too, involving newspapers, radios, television, etc. Now, for the big question. My ask from you is 20 lakhs for 12% equity. These are some of the immediate costs the 12 lakhs will go to, as you can see on the screen. These are some of the costs for which we need money in the future, but I'm not focusing on this right now because the first 6 to 8 months before developing my company, I will spend that solely on research and development to explore and research about different methods of production of prosthetic limbs by going to actual places where they manufacture it, like the BPA, the RoboBionics Manufacturing Center, etc. And that's when I'll get into all of this. We are talking about a future where functionality meets affordability, where every person, despite their economic background, has a chance to lead a more fulfilling and inclusive life. Join us on this journey as we redefine accessibility, break down barriers, and bring about positive change. Because at the end of the day, Utsukushi is not just a business. It's a dream of a more equal and compassionate world. Thank you.
Great presentation. So we are into medical devices ourselves, and I have initially printed a few 3D printed prosthetics for the arm and the thumb and everything. So very good presentation. I'll tell you, it is a very, very unforgiving field. It is extremely complicated, and the engineering and the R&D which you require for the customization, for making it patient-centric. Every person has a different dimension of the knee, the thigh, the ankle, your hands and everything. So it's a very good initiative from your end, thinking about this and trying to be inclusive. But do you have any specific model you have built, or do you want to target a specific disease in the start? Because that has to be your focus. You cannot just make prosthetics for any part of the body. So have you narrowed down any one particular amputated part of the body which you want to focus on?
So as of now, I'm thinking of going with, for the very beginning, I'm thinking of starting by making prosthetic limbs for diabetic people, leg prosthetics to be specific, below the knee. So yeah, I'm going with that as of now, but for further research, I'm going to need guidance and mentorship from you all.
So focus on one particular part that will help you narrow down a lot of things. That will help you make a very clear and clean strategy of how you can move ahead. And we work with lot of foundations, and especially we are into eye care. So diabetes is an equally important disease which affects your eye as well. So I can get you in touch with a lot of people who are working in the diabetic industry, lot of doctors, hospitals. So I'll be happy to help you there. But you start your focus and start it with this particular thing that you are going to make it for patients who have had amputation because of a diabetic foot. So based on that, you rework, you make a very specific target and model, do research on that. That, like here you had very good research about the total number of people who've had amputations and people who don't have access to that. Now make it for this particular disease.
So make it more specific.
Make it more specific. Okay. Then only you'll have good direction, and then you'll be able to approach a lot of people. Because you know, even if you go to an orthopedic surgeon or anything, you need to tell them very important specifics of what the problem is, what the solution you are providing. So focus on that, and I'll be very happy to help you connect with all the different people here.
Thank you, I really appreciate that.
Nadia, very good presentation, lot of depth. I really like it. You have done your research. That's always a good thing to see in a founder. But I also agree focus has to be there. Within prosthetics, what do you want to focus on first is important. Second thing, see, there's a long way to go, because even in R&D, to come up with a first prototype is also a long journey.
Yeah, I have mentioned that.
Correct, absolutely. So, do you have that capability? So, do you have that interest in developing that on your own, or do you work with somebody? Do you plan to work with somebody? Do you plan to outsource this R&D? How do you kind of go about creating your first POC or prototype?
So for now, in the research and development, I'm thinking of just exploring the production process in general. And to create the initial prototypes, I will take help from people who specialize in the field. Like, for example, Blind People's Association, they make prosthetic limbs too. But I think between this and the initial business plan, there's like a long way to go. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think, in order for you to be able to come up with the first prototype, you really need to have that skill set, either as an extended,
8 to 12 months for
correct.
R&D.
So either through your extended team, or you might want to kind of convince few people to come on board and who can actually lead the product for your startup. It's a very good, impactful startup that you plan to work on. So from Venture Studio, what we want to offer, we have 2 labs. One is a fabrication shop and another is a biotech lab. So we'll be happy to offer you access to those labs free of cost, and obviously the expertise that come with it while you are working through the prototyping journey. And if you kind of continue with that, we'll be happy to support you with some grants, which is not equity funding, but just grants, which is no equity funding.
Thank you, that really means a lot.
I think very well presented.
Thank you.
It was very clear. I can definitely help you to connect with, there's a company which is into manufacturing, prototyping, end to end. So they can assist you, mentor you. It's called Invent India. They're very popular.
I know the founder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can help you connect with them so that they can mentor you for sure, and
Sanam
they will not
Kapoor
say
and
no.
Jyoti ma'am,
Yes. So that I think you should actually go to them and take the advice on the prototyping and the testing and etc. That will help you save your costs also at the initial level. And of course, I think again my question remains the same, the finances part, which I didn't really see, but other than that, it's interesting. You should start. The first step should be to go to them or anybody else for that matter, because they'll be happy to work on this. Yes, and wherever I can help and contribute in marketing, I'll be there.
Thank you. You can look at the finances right now. Get the slide open. So, yeah.
Great start, Nadia. I think you've put in the best foot forward in terms of identifying as to what the problem statement is. But the journey, I think, becomes much more difficult henceforth. The first and foremost thing to do is kind of identifying as to why the existing developers or manufacturers are not using the raw materials which you have kind of listed down.
Yeah.
Is there some challenges in kind of using that? Are they not quality efficient? Are they not long enough to or durable enough to kind of sustain? So you need to kind of list that out and see as to what are the challenges they are facing. These ones.
Yeah, so in this below I have listed down something. So remember how I said about simplified design? So for example, one major material which is used in the construction of regular prosthetics is carbon fiber. So to replace carbon fiber, we'll be using fiberglass. Now fiberglass offers some kind of strength and flexibility, but the problem with that is it doesn't provide the optimum service which carbon fiber does, such as it's not as lightweight or strong. But like I said, we are looking for something which is good enough for people to use. Like something is better than nothing, right? So we aim on starting with this first, and then eventually through more R&D, more innovative methods, we look forward to building on our quality and keeping the costs.
You need to partner with the right individuals and institutions which can help you kind of do R&D on a concurrent basis. and come up with a product which is kind of acceptable in the market. You already have an offer from Venture Studio to kind of work along with you. The gentleman being in the medical device domain can also help you kind of commercialize that product. So best of luck on that.
Thank you.
So when we fund or finance any startup, we check founder's background.
Okay.
So what's your background? Your family background.
Okay, so my mom used to be a doctor, she's now a homemaker, and my dad's in the merchant navy. And yeah, that's pretty much it about my family. My grandmother, she used to be the head of PK School of Management, Sarla Achatan, you might have heard of her. And yeah.
Okay. Just like Tanvi, I can also offer incubation, right?
Okay.
We help startups in nurturing their idea, right? We have few labs with us: science lab, pharma lab, mechanical lab as well, right? So we can help you over there.
That
right?
would be very appreciated.
And we have some mentors also in this field.
Yeah,
So we have a startup called Bone Bank,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
right? So that is incubated at our place. So I'll connect you with those guys. They're very good in this kind of segment. So we'll help
That would
in.
be very helpful.
Yes.
Thank
So in that case, you need to get incubated over there, and we'll connect you with those guys,
Understood.
right? Or you can also get incubated over there also in Venture Studio. So basically, this is one ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right, we are one, so we promote ecosystem, startup ecosystem together. तो वहाँ पे incubate हो, यहाँ पे incubate हो, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We are there to help you.
Yeah, I understand that. Thank you.
Keep going.
Yeah, thank you.